Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. I have a very interesting article to show you guys. This is going to be a great video. I hope you stick all the way through because we have a lot to talk about. Now, this is a company from China that is pushing the limits of recycling gold and silver and copper and all the critical metals we need to go quote unquote green. And when you look at this level of recycling they're trying to do, it's pretty impressive. And I do want to go over what this would mean for metals like silver that's extremely scarce and what this would mean going green. Now, we know right now we do not have enough silver to go green. We just simply don't. Now, I've talked about 4 different options, solutions we have to fix this problem. The first one's extremely controversial because it's mining innovation. See, we would need to mine more of these metals to go green, but mining itself is very bad for the earth. So that's the controversial one, which I don't think we're going to do. Plus, most silver is found at the top layer of the earth's crust, so most of it's already been dug out, right? So mining innovation would be one. Another one would be recycling. The third one would be confiscating our silver or turning it in or people selling it, or space mining. Those are the 4 different options, solutions we have. Now, you probably laugh when I say space mining, but it will become a reality someday. There's actually an asteroid approaching Earth by the year 2026 called 16 Psyche, and NASA sent out a rover this year to go check out this asteroid because apparently there's like $500 quintillion worth of precious metals on this asteroid that's just covered in gold, copper, iron, all these different metals. If they are, which by the way, by the year 2026, they will not be able to mine this asteroid by then, but I think they're just starting to look into it because eventually this will be a thing, and I think this is just the first steps to doing that. But that will be, I think, someday a possibility for sure, just not yet. But recycling is the most realistic way we're seeing right now. I just don't think recycling will even put a dent into the amount of silver we need. Now, remember, silver is used for EVs, electric vehicles. You know, we're talking about solar panels and all these different things as we go, quote unquote, green. But these things are thrown away in landfills, especially since solar panels have a very short half-life. I mean, even if every automobile company by the year 2030 is going to be an EV, what is the rate of those getting recycled, broken back down? So we have a lot to take in, and when you add the numbers up with the numbers of recycling, meaning record-breaking supply deficits this year versus how much annually can we recycle, will those numbers even be even close to fixing this problem by the time the problem is serious enough where we might have to halt the production of Teslas or cut back the amount produced each year, or potentially even pausing or putting a halt to the new Green Deal, because in reality we just don't have enough silver. That's not a theory, that's not a conspiracy, that's not an assumption, that's the data showing fact. And I remember covering an article where someone was either like Ted Butler or someone along those lines. I'm not going to say those names. It was one of those people, though, and they said, if you really think we have enough silver to go green, you are living in La La Land. I'll never forget that statement. It was so impactful because it's true, right? These people are thinking before they are looking at the reality of the situation. Yeah, it sounds nice. 0 net emissions by the year 2040 or whatever. That sounds nice, but is it possible? Is it realistic? No. And then when you incorporate the amount of metals we would have to mine out of the ground, like these lithium mines where they have little kids, 6-year-old kids mining in terrible conditions, working for a penny a day. These people think they're helping the earth go green and save the planet, but in reality we have to ramp up mining, and it's extremely dangerous, especially in third world countries, which are the ones that are actually digging this stuff out of the earth's crust. So it's just a complete mess, but recycling could be the problem if we don't have to mine these metals. But in reality, the sad truth is we're still going to have to ramp up mining production. I've seen videos of lithium mines where there's thousands of workers in these third world countries, including 5, 6-year-old kids that are barefoot mining in terrible and dangerous conditions for a penny a day. And that's just the reality we live in right now. I don't think recycling is going to fix that problem either. But anyways, let's jump into this article. The link will be in the description. I'm also doing a silver giveaway and gold actually, and if you want a chance to win some of that, all you have to do is click one button, and that button is subscribe. Highly recommend you turn on the bell so you don't miss the entry video when it gets posted. Now let's jump into this. Tanaka, I'm not even going to try to say the other name, but it's Tanaka Kogyo, which operates the manufacturing business of the Tanaka Precious Metals, announced in May 2022 the launch of its RE series of recycled precious metals materials, which do not contain any mine-derived bullion and use 100% recycled materials. And I think that's a very important part to look at, is it's none of it's mine-derived. And I'm sure that's one of their best qualities. That's what they're going to promote, and for obvious reasons, like I just explained, because that stuff is becoming more public. You're going to see a lot of mines being protested, which actually a recent silver mine in Canada was just protested, and it was a silver mine, which there are only very few single silver mines, and which is sad because most silver is found by accident. But they protested it because of the water contamination, and it's kind of ironic because silver purifies water. I mean, obviously digging up silver is still going to pollute their water, but it is just ironic that they're digging up a mine, or they're protesting a mine where the metal they're digging up purifies water. But anyways, the RE series is a series of products that reduces adverse effects on the global environment, overcomes resource depletion, contributes to the stable supply of precious metal companies, or to companies that use them in a variety of applications, and further contributes to the realization of a circular economy. Now, I am interested to hear what the numbers are. How many millions of ounces annually would they be recycling? Silver, gold, because I mean there's a lot of silver in electronics. I mean, a lot. Silver is mainly used as an industrial metal, not so much gold. Gold is more for necklaces and jewelry. There's 58 grams of silver in an EV. They're trying to cut the amount of silver down to like 20 something grams, which is another angle we could approach. Just cut down the amount of silver in these electronic applications. But regardless, they're going to find a lot more silver recycled than gold, but gold is easily recycled since it's mainly sold to pawn shops, and it's in your grandma's jewelry drawer or dresser drawer. Now, I do want to talk about that because there's certain metals that are more important to recycle than others, and I'm curious what those numbers would be. Lithium, right? Silver lithium ion batteries, which is a huge one. I know probably iron, lead, zinc. I know those are what they usually mine out of the ground. When they find silver by accident, they'll take it, but it's usually mining lead, zinc, copper, lead, zinc. So are they going to ramp up recycling in those where maybe it's a lot harder to find or to recycle the metal from electronics for certain metals? Like how does this whole system work? Maybe this chart down here explains it, but regardless, I am interested in this. It is interesting, and I do think this could play some part in the supply deficit. Now, in Japan, the home appliance recycling law came into effect in 2001. Outside of Japan, the European Union adopted the CE package in 2015, which sets a policy to use recyclable resources within the region. The neighboring country, China, is also promoting recycling as a policy, as well as rapid shift in its industrial model. So Hara says, when considering the balance of supply and demand in society, extracting natural resources from mines is, of course, essential. On the other hand, recycling of precious metals is very important to reduce the consumption of natural resources to use the limited resources to sustainability from the perspective of global environment protection. So yeah, they're basically saying we got to ramp up recycling so we don't have to ramp up mining. RE series products, newly developed by the Tanaka precious metals to reduce environmental impact and achieve sustainable and efficient use of precious metal by reducing mining of new precious metals. While Tanaka precious metals have been promoting the recycling of precious metals to reduce the environmental impact of mineral resources, the RE series is made 100% of recycled precious metals. Let's just go down here. Okay, so yeah, they go into the ones that they're mainly focused on. So gold, silver, platinum are essential for manufacturing electronic device products. Tanaka has also been attempting to reduce the environmental impact by extracting these precious metals from discarded products, urban mines recycling them to reduce the amount of mining. And I think that is the biggest. And honestly, it's weird to look at it from this angle, but I do think that a lot of the reason recycling will be ramped up is because the poor mining conditions is becoming more in the public eye, and people are going to be protesting these mines more and more. Plus, just in general, it's getting harder to find silver, right? Just as there's only so much silver in the Earth's crust. It's not like silver's made in the Earth, came here from asteroids and comets. So if they're starting to realize how much silver, especially let's look at silver in general, how much silver we need to quote unquote go green, and they realize we don't have enough of it, that's going to be the other angle of them boosting recycling. You saw that they talked about gold and silver. Gold is, there is no shortage of gold. So it's probably going to be silver as their main focus, along with lithium as well. So anyways, let's look at this model. So new materials such as ingots and coins, which then goes to production, processing, and then conventionally processed products goes to the customers, which then obviously goes into the EVs and the laptops, which then are thrown away, which should be recycled. Then those materials would go into the refining process, back to this RE series, which would then go back to the customers, and then yada yada. But then there's others. You could see it would start from the recycled materials, which could go to in-house recovery processing, or the production in-house recycling. So it's looking like it's all going to be going through, this RE series process, but some of them would be going to just the materials, where others would be going from the EVs, electronics, to the materials to be recycled. So, I mean, it's interesting. And actually, I do recall scientists found a way to extract silver from some type of like liquid or something out of circuit boards and stuff. So there are different ways. Like I said, and yes, this is all nice and dandy, but I don't think this is going to even put a dent into the problem. I mean, we saw record-breaking supply deficits this year. Hundreds of millions of ounces for the last 5, 6, 7 years have been getting cut back. We produce 800 million, maybe 850 million tops of silver per year dug up out of the Earth's crust. But India alone this year bought 730 million ounces of silver. Almost all the silver that we mined alone, just one country, and demand exceeded 1.21 billion ounces. We're talking 400 million ounces, and then that means we'll have to catch up next year, which is we're going to be even deeper into the green age of more EVs needed, more solar panels, more silver lithium ion batteries. It's just not realistic, and that's why I say when I talk about triple digit silver, I talk about it by the year 2025, 2026, and that's because I think we'll be deep enough into the Green New Deal where it everyone would know how serious the silver shortage is. Right now, we could still sweep it under the rug, but I think by then they will know. They will know that we don't have enough. We got to do something now. It's already too late. Some companies have been in this. I remember I've covered maybe over the last year, maybe 2 or 3 different companies. It seemed like they actually have been on board and have been aware, but the rest of these, they're still clueless. And the only reason light is getting shed into this problem is because of the exposure of these mines, like these lithium mines that have terrible working conditions. So I don't know. It's just a whole sticky situation. So here's something from the LBMA. Let's look at this. So furthermore, Tanaka was the first company to receive the LBMA, which is the London Bullion Market Association, and London Platinum and Palladium Market Responsible Certification, or certification of the most prestigious accreditation bodies in the gold and silver markets. It's not only the first company in Japan to be recognized as a provider of precious metals for worldwide distribution, but it's also currently able to create global standard for precious metals as they are only authorized examination company in Japan. This ensures responsible raw material procurement that does not contribute to child labor, forced labor, environmental destruction, or conflicts related to mining. So yeah, it's looking like this whole model is that we are bringing gold and silver and lithium and all these critical metals we need to the table, but without mining, without the terrible mining impact it has for third world countries and for the environment. And I think that is their biggest play. And I'm sure that you're going to see or hear more companies doing this, especially right now, since quote unquote the woke generation is protesting all these mines and stuff. It's definitely needed. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, make sure you subscribe if you want a chance to win some silver and gold. And if you want to buy silver or gold, I recommend Miles Franklin. Just send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Ask them for an inventory sheet. Ask if they have any specials or discounts, sales. They always do. Let them know I sent you. Andy Schechtman would love to hear it. He's the CEO of Miles Franklin. You've seen him everywhere. He's on my channel. We have a weekly show together. You've seen him on Kitco News. You've seen him on Robert Kiyosaki's channel. You've seen him everywhere. Wall Street Silver's channel. I mean, this guy is the most famous person that every news or content creator out there that talks about precious metals is trying to have him on, because he's the one that understands the market. He talks about the BRICS nations. He is running the most respected precious metals company, which is Miles Franklin, one of the only few authorized dealers that can still work with the U.S. Mint. I mean, buying through them can be extremely beneficial, especially if you keep purchasing through them and get to know Andy and he gets to know you. It's like buying silver from a really good friend of yours, which could be very beneficial beyond buying from just some random site online where you don't know anyone behind the screen. Because then if a problem occurs, if you're buying from your friend, you could call up your friend and say, hey, and Andy will fix it. And that's why they've had 0 negative complaints, is because, yeah, they mess up, but they fix it, right? They'll always make it right. Always will. Where you don't have that luxury with other companies. So anyways, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video if you liked the video. I will see you guys soon. Make sure you check out my other videos. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.